So good morning, everybody, and welcome to BETT Day 2. We are here at the Good Future Foundation booth and very, very excited to be joined by Ali Gellett from the Big AI project. Ali, thank you so very much indeed for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'd love to learn more about the Big AI project, where you are at the moment on that journey, and ultimately we'll get to the purpose and the intention. But an overview at this point would be fantastic and beneficial if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so the Big AI project has one purpose, and the purpose is to equip every school in the UK and the Republic of Ireland with the skills and support they need to approach an AI-infused world. So a world where AI is everywhere, safely, ethically, and strategically. It's a super practical project. It is designed solely by teachers, and by then teachers from the UK and across the world in some cases. And it's designed to provide 4 things. Number 1, school leader, so basically head teachers and others, training. So we do face-to-face training for 4 hours and take schools from nothing to feeling super confident about a strong foundation. We run school teacher training, which is online. So there are 6 modules for teachers, again, to take them from not understanding to feeling super strong about where AI fits into the world. And we also have a primary and secondary AI literacy curriculum, and everything is free because it's all funded by citizens. And the idea is, it's not pro-AI, it's not anti-AI, it's AI agnostic. So it's basically saying we're not teaching how to use tech. We're teaching what is everything I need to know to understand how AI fits in the world and to understand the mindset I need and the approach I need to start on my journey to make my school and my home, depending on whether I'm a student or a teacher ahead, super safe, super ethical, and really well educated about how it all works.
And that's a massive undertaking. As you know, we're in a space at the moment where everything around us is an AI solution. How do you help senior leaders in particular navigate what is ultimately a continually evolving space?
Great question. So what we're saying is that there's much that's changing, but there are also many things that are actually constant. So for example, a lot of our training focuses on things like bias, stereotyping, the black box idea where we're not sure what's going on with the AI, critical thinking. And one key message that is universal globally, because there are many conflicting messages when it comes to AI, because lots of people don't really know, even experts who say, I don't really know what's going to happen. But what we do know is that humanity and the role as a human and essential skills and the way we approach the world is absolutely the critical part. So it's saying, head teachers, you have what it takes to do this. It is new, but actually the principles are not new. So we're really thinking about how can we equip you with those basics and those fundamentals, but also, going back to your question, who can we link you in with who can take you on that journey? So Good Future Foundation and our partners Educate Ventures with Professor Rose Larkin are people who can take you on the journey. So we provide the foundation, but what next? Because actually this isn't about something you do on a morning and then you tick off and go, I've done it. This is something where ongoing support and an ongoing community of educators, this idea you're not alone, and we hear it like you're not behind. We hear a lot of educators who go, everyone else is ahead of me. That's not true. Where we're working with potentially tens of thousands of schools over the coming year, most schools have not got a strong foundation for this. So if you're a school that hasn't got a strong foundation, welcome. We'll help you get one, and then we'll link you into partners who can actually help you on that journey. And where things evolve, the partners can disseminate that evolution, because heads and teachers and schools don't have the capacity, nor should they, to have to get on top of it all themselves. That's what we're saying. It's not just up to you. You've got people who can help you, who are ethical, who are strategic, who are safe, and who can help you on your journey.
So the values piece around this work feels particularly important to you, Ali. Can you tell our audience about why you're focusing in on that area in particular?
So values are massively important to me. I've worked in education for 30 years as a teacher, and in local government and in multi-capital trusts and in a whole range of things. And what I know and what I've seen over and over again is that we need to work and learn together. Also, there are many solutions that are designed outside the system by people who have never set foot in a classroom, and then people go, why didn't they work? And that's no criticism against people who don't work in classrooms, but there is a unique perspective, and all of the work we're doing is designed by educators. We've just piloted with representatives from over 200 schools to check that everything actually works in a real classroom, in a real head teacher's room, in the madness that is school. And for me, that's super important. And it's also super important, thinking of the values. This is about the future of society. This is about the future of every individual child and member of staff. So for me, this has got to be driven by a real, what is the best interest of that child? And forgetting everything else. So yes, we take into account evidence, we take from outside that to say that is the core driver. What is actually going to be the best outcome for these children, and how can we stand up for them in a world where there's so much conflicting values and so many different perspectives and money-driven things? We want to be values-driven and we want to be child-centred.
But that's difficult for schools, isn't it? Particularly when they come to an event like BETT and everything is about, look how we can make this teaching and learning experience even more amazing for you and your teachers. It's overwhelming in some respects. How do you get past that?
AI and the world we live in is overwhelming, full stop. And in fact, it's really fascinating because the word I hear from virtually every head teacher and child, because we've surveyed thousands of children and people, the most overwhelming word, the word we hear most often is terror. I'm terrified, I'm overwhelmed, I have no idea where to start. So what we're saying is very similar actually to the climate change anxiety concept. The best way to tackle climate change anxiety is to empower people to understand more and to act. So what we're really doing, and it is really working, is empowering people to understand the world they're living in and how it works, and then to actually do something about it. Because ultimately, AI is a tool. We are the humans who designed the tool, and we're the humans who get to decide what to do with it. And so what we're hearing from the heads and the teachers and the students is they feel super equipped. They feel really empowered. They feel like, I now know what to do and the choices I can make. And actually, I'm the person who's making decisions in my own life. And yeah, there are big players going on, but actually I get choice. I have some kind of agency. And it's really interesting how head teachers and others who've only had the training in October and have come knowing absolutely nothing, are now saying, right, we're doing this, we're having these conversations, we're putting in place these structures, we understand, and they're able to really feel that it's their journey.
So this is very much focused on the teacher and the head of department and the senior leadership at a school. Your other hat is with My Future program. Can you tell us about how the AI story perhaps fits into that narrative as well when it comes to thinking through the anxieties of young children and the world of work?
Absolutely. So My Future program is designed at the request of schools in the area where I live. It is designed with 4 aims. It's designed to raise aspirations, to challenge stereotypes, and to broaden the horizons of primary school children. But also, it's designed to shift the economy. So very small goals and a very big goal.
I feel we should say this is a county level at the moment.
It's
is that right?
county level at the moment, and we've got interest globally about this. And what we do is we introduce primary school children to employers from 5 and teach them essential skills and functional skills program. Now, I get asked every day, it's far too young, why are you doing it? But the evidence shows that through 7, children have a fixed mindset of what they can and can't be in life, and this is global evidence, and that does not change between 7 and 17. More concerningly, it's not only massively linked to gender, which is quite understandable, and you can see that, but it's also linked to socioeconomic background. So you have a whole global generation of children in year 7 have decided that much of the world is out of their reach. There's a second aspect to it, which is also that not only, and we currently work with 35,000 children, and we've had over 500,000 encounters between a child and employee in the last 4 years. What we're hearing from children and from teachers is that not only are we not in an AI ready world in terms of careers and aspirations, we're not in the 21st century. So if you taught the children their concept and staff, the jobs they name are what I call the happy family jobs: vet, teacher, doctor, nurse. And they don't go beyond that. And when you ask teachers, the only ones that have added in the last few decades are YouTuber, influencer, and celebrity. All the rest are the same. So what we're saying is there's much more out there, but also it's more than just there is much more out there. It's about the fact that you can do anything. And the narrative we're hearing back from the young people, as young as 5 and 6, is I now know that anything is possible for me if I work hard. Because they're seeing people who are like them, who are successful. Now, this might seem like it doesn't mean anything with the AI side of things at all, but it massively does. Because at Big Education, if you lead the Big AI project, we believe that every child should have a rich education. Not just to do with exams, although exams are super important, but also about the head. So also about the heart. So character building, well-being, the children should enjoy their education. That is actually great. But also the hand, so skills, so practical things. And it's interesting because I was watching a child yesterday at one of our schools for whom music had unlocked things, and she was 7 or 8. And yet in another school where she hadn't had that free access, that may not have happened. And it's just this idea that all of this, if you said like in one sentence, how does this all link together? It's about the narrative for children and young people at the moment is bleak globally in the UK. We've got the biggest ever gap of one of the biggest ever gaps in unemployment in 16 to 25-year-olds. 1 million 16 to 25-year-olds are currently unemployed. There's so many predictions about that becoming more difficult. How can we change that? Well, we need to change the systems, but also we need to change what children believe is possible and lead them into those companies and lead them into those futures in a way that works. And I think for me, the reason these 2 projects are important is because they're aiming to do the right thing, which is to give children a future, but they also work.
So on a practical level then, I mean, you've talked a fair bit about the incredible work, Ali, that you're doing in this space and doing a fantastic job at juggling all of these different balls. How do schools get involved, firstly, with the Big AI project? What does that process look like, practically speaking?
So practically speaking, we have now finished the pilot. Professor Rosalacki's team are currently analysing feedback, but it's overwhelmingly positive and transformational. On the 6th of March, we've got the Next Generation School Conference, run by Big Education and Partners and the Future Foundation. And schools can book onto that.
That's in London.
That's in London. We will be launching all of the Big AI projects there. Also, though, schools can sign up without having to come to that, because obviously this is across the whole of the UK and government provide. So how do you sign up? If you Google the Big AI project, you'll find a form. And when you fill in that form, it will take you to an area where you can enter your school's details. By doing that, you'll be added to a list for super practically, and we'll be then getting in touch in the next 6 weeks to tell you all of the centres where you can attend the face-to-face training. That's going to be starting on the 9th of March, the rollout. And we will have space for up to 1,000 schools in the next 2-3 months. And then hopefully
this is regionally across?
Regionally across initially England in the next 2 to 3 months. And then we've got partners who will be delivering that across the UK and Ireland, hopefully in the next 12 months. So by signing up, you get invited to those sessions, but also then invited to receive all of the different resources that we've got and linked in Good Future Foundation, free quality mark, because it's really important to us, and no school pays. That's super important.
And who should attend these sessions? Is it heads? Is it digital leads? Is it heads of department?
Our experience shows that it's really important it's the head teacher or deputy who leads, because what we're seeing is that schools where this is led from a digital perspective have a very different perspective on it to schools where it's led by the head or the deputy. And what we're seeing is that it's really essential for every head teacher to fully grasp, and governing board and trustees and members. So we're working with the NGA and other organisations to explore that. It's really important that attendance is from the head or the senior leadership team. We will then give them all the resources for teachers, continuing resources for the senior leaders, and the resources for children, which they can implement from day one. So they can plan in and join the quality mark, so they can plan in and go, what does my journey look like? And from that day one, we know the schools who have done nothing on this are saying, I now know what I'm doing. And in fact, the kind of narrative after the 4-hour training was, and these are literal words, I was afraid and now I'm not. I now feel like I have a plan. I now understand where I'm going with this. So it's the idea of having a solid foundation on which to build.
And in terms of my future, how are you involving schools? Let's start with the group that you have now at a council level. What might a school do if they're perhaps outside of, we're talking about Essex County Council here at the moment, but are there mechanisms for involving a broader reach?
Yes, so the My Future programme is currently the cornerstone of the Year of Opportunity, which is funded and run by Essex County Council. And the plan is to roll out across the whole of Essex, to all their 600 primary schools in the next year or so. And if we're getting a lot of interest from other boroughs, again, you can actually put it on the Big AI form, to be honest, and it'll come to me anyway, and then I can link schools in. Because for us, it's very much this idea of all the programs I work on are designed by teachers.
And should employers consider that as well?
We would love extra employers to be involved. We've had some incredible employers from space industries, from finance, digital, creative, you name it, we've had them. From a submarine engineer to a stage manager, it's important that children get a real range of what's actually out there. And in particular, this is linked to growth sectors and skill shortages. So it's about that economic, and it's also, as well as teachers, it's designed by economic development specialists to ensure that actually what we're putting there is there. So yeah, schools or local authorities or employers who want to get involved, get in touch, because we believe that, well, we know it's transforming. I was fortunate enough to meet some of the children who've been part of the programme face to face 2 weeks ago, and it was incredible hearing 7 and 8 year olds talking about how it transformed their lives, and hearing from their head teachers about the transformed attitude to learning.
We are transforming many lives, Ali, in both of these initiatives, and I'm sure in many other ways as well. We're very grateful to have you here at Good Future Foundation. Of course, we are very grateful for the onward partnership and collaboration with you and with the Big AI project. Hopefully a little bit more with My Future as well moving forward. But thank you so much indeed for your time, and wish you a wonderful rest of BETT.
Thank you very much for having me.